Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome if you're here live on LinkedIn, YouTube, or even Facebook. Yes, that's the ones. Welcome. Wonderful. It's another Monday Live Lunch and Learn. My name's Tim Wagner. If we haven't had the privilege to meet, I'm a previously burnt out corporate guy, now turned international speaker and high performance coach, where I work with high functioning teams and leaders to help them break free of the stress cycle that is life. Reverse that scale of going from well-being to burnout back to well-being again, because there is a way, there's an alternative way apart from the one that I did, which was walk out of the corporate world because I didn't know what was going on. And what an amazing journey it's been since that. That was cracky in March. Now it's going to be 7 years since I did that. While I wouldn't encourage everybody to just leave their work, at that point, I didn't know what else to do. And that's why I'm here with you guys every single Monday, sharing a different perspective from the stress, the pain, the anguish, the loss, the feeling of hopelessness, which so many of us can easily get stuck into. And today is a section that I really love sharing because this is a dream building day. So it's a continuation from my program. If you're coming in for the first time and you're going, well, what else have you been speaking about? Then click the link in the comment section, or I should say in the details section, where you'll find my free PathFinders Community. In there, I've got, I think it's nearly 28 or 30 of my lives presented, and you'll see that there's a flow of them. So last week, I spoke about how we can hone in on our feeling state on 4 key areas of our lives of things that we would like to improve on: our body, our business, our financial, our relationship, and really honing in on those goals and dreams and making sure that they're aligned to your values. So today, we're going to continue that. But the reason why I love this piece is when I'm talking through as part of my coaching program with my clients, it's the time that I encourage everybody, bring your family in. This is not a journey that you're on your own on this. Bring the kids in, get them involved in dream building. So I call this ways to keep your eye on the prize. Because the reality is, as you've got a dream and goal, the world around you seems to want to push you further away from it. So we need to be constantly reminded. This is where we talk about this subject of how do you keep these goals and dreams front of mind throughout a chaotic day. And it all comes from my program here. So this is the Life Mastery Journey for Ambitious Leaders, and I use the acronym BREATHE. The section we're talking about today is aligning your goals to your values. Now, if your goals aren't aligned to your values, you're going to procrastinate on them. More focused here, this is about how do you focus on those dreams and goals? What tools do you use for yourself, your family? And I'm going to share 3 of them with you today that I actually speak of in my program, 7 in total. But today we're going to just focus on 3 of them. And if you want more, well, you're going to have to connect with me and come for the most. Now, come for the full program. These ones that I'm going to share, I love because they're a little bit different. So not just about writing your goals down. Yes, it's important. Breaking it down. Yes, it's important. But there's 3 areas that I've personally found so much value in, which until I started on a real focused program of achieving my goals and dreams, and please don't get me wrong here. I'm not by any means the expert, but I've done a lot and I'm on a path. And knowing that path in the world of infinite possibilities, what else is possible? Knowing that keeps me motivated, excited, and focused. But before I climb in with that, I'm just going to start on a little bit of mindset. I'm going to share a story, because without the correct mindset, it doesn't matter what it is that you're actually searching for, looking for, your dreams, your goals, who you'll become, if we don't have the mindset. Now, the story is the following. And if anybody listening to this recognizes the origin of the story, please do tell me, share it with me, as I honestly can't remember. It's not mine originally. And I'd love to know where I originally heard it, because it was probably in the region of 14, 15 years ago that I first came across the story. But I loved it then. I made a note of it. and now I'm going to share it with you. So if you know who it is, please do. The question is, are you a cheetah or are you a buck? When the animal kingdom wakes up in Africa, the buck wakes up knowing that it's on the menu of the cheetah. And the cheetah wakes up knowing that the buck is the dish of the day. Each has their goal to survive another day. Now, we often speak about needing to set goals and dreams, but when you wake up, are you going after them as a cheetah or a buck? The cheetah's goal is to have a meal of the day. The buck's goal is to live to graze another day. So when you wake up and you've got your goals that you want to achieve, things to do, people to see, sales to make, but are you doing it with the same energy to save your life? Interesting question. So the buck goes grazing, always on his lookout for the cheetah. Perked its ears, it's alert, it's focused. It's goal-orientated, one path, survive another day. The cheetah, he's focused as well. The cheetah is also focused on one thing, it's to catch that meal of the day. And in the space of 3 paces, the cheetah can go from 0 to 50 and then reach up to 100 kilometers an hour, like that. Now, the buck knows this. So when the cheetah strikes, the buck scampers across the plains in all different directions, and they all go nuts in order to confuse the cheetah. But the cheetah is not so easily outsmarted. He knows the strategy of the buck. And knowing that it's going to change direction, he focuses on one buck and doesn't lose sight of that one goal of that buck. So the cheetah is running for its meal, but the buck is running for his life. So when you go out in the morning, are you running for another meal that you know if you don't happen to get that meal or that sale or achieve that thing, doesn't matter. Why? Because the next day you can try again. Or are you running for your life, knowing that if you don't achieve that goal of the day, there is no other day? So when you get up in the morning and you've got a goal for the day, focus like a cheetah. You're not going to get distracted by everything else that's going on around you. But head out and act like a buck and run for your life. So how do we apply this? You're going to focus intently on your goals. So while I'm sharing 3 of them, doesn't mean you do all 3. Yes, by all means. Or if you're part of my bigger program, all 7 of them. Find 1 or 2 and do that well. Find something that resonates with you. And if you've been following my program throughout, take this information and go back to your goal activation plan. Make sure that the goals that you are focusing on now are aligned to your values, your integral values, your plan of who you will become. Right? So it's possible for each of us and every one of us to achieve what we want. And if you've read The Secret by Burns, her name goes from my head. Sorry. The Secret, that was such a key area for a lot of people, but they missed a key fundamental part of that. That's the energy and the feeling state you've got to put behind it. I spoke about that last week. But we want to avoid this lottery mentality. So we also understand that there's work that we need to do. The lottery mentality, you buy the ticket, you go, oh, the money's going to fall on my lap. Well, no, not quite. Here you've got to apply some principles. So here's what we're going to do. Oh, hang on. I'm going to go right down here. And this is the time that you bring in your kids, the family, your spouse, so that everybody can get involved. Whether you're dealing with a dream wall, which is a beautiful area. We've got one in our house here. We've had it for years. We always used to have it when people walked in our front door. And it was just a huge cupboard, which was covered with the goals and dreams for that year. Whether you've got that or whether you're writing it down, doesn't matter. You want to maintain that focus. And there was a story years ago when I was in network marketing about the value of bringing in the family to your goals and your dreams. And I remember one guy that I was working with, He had brought the family in, and one of the things of achieving a new level in his business was that he was going to take the family to Disneyland at the end of the year, which meant that he had to do a lot of work outside on his own business, outside of his job. It meant that he had to sacrifice family time, but he brought his kids in with it. And he said, if I do this and this, and you help me with doing these goals and these dreams, and understand that Dad's not always going to be around as much as he'd love to, we're going to go to Disneyland. So one night he's at home and he doesn't have any meetings, and his little son, I think he was less than 10, comes up to him and says, Dad, why are you at home? So I said, what are you talking about? Why am I home? He says, but how are we going to go to Disney if you're not out there finding new clients and making sales? So his kid, instead of missing Dad, was looking at the whole bigger picture. It's amazing what can happen. So here are 3 of my top favorite. Number 1, a mind movie. This is going to be one of my favorite. Made famous by the work of Joe Dispenza and Natalie Ledwell. She's actually Australian. So when Joe Dispenza found out the work that Natalie Ledwell was doing on helping people focus intently with their mindsets on their dreams and goals, the work he did with her then elevated her business. So this is about taking all of those manifestations from your dream book, from a dream wall, wherever you've got them down, even if it's from your head, and making it as a movie. And these days with iMovie and all these various editing apps that anybody can get freely available on their laptop, and combining that with music, it makes it so simple but powerful. So you take your best pictures and you put it with beautiful catchphrases to inspire you. When you add it to your favorite song, take a look quickly. I'm going to share a little glimpse of what it can actually look like.
There's a secret to success everybody hopes to find. There's a key to the world, and it's mine, all mine. There's a world of opportunity filled with possibility and dreams that I'm gonna find. I got a millionaire mind. I say yes to success. I got a millionaire.
Did you get the idea from it now? I got that one from YouTube, from Natalie Gladwell's site. So you can pick it up from there. But that gives a beautiful example. You notice the sensations, the emotions, the feeling that you have. Now imagine if you've got your pictures in there. So that's number 1, create a mind movie. I've got a mind movie. My wife puts them together for me, puts in beautiful music and tracks. And how powerful it is before I do an afternoon meditation when I play that. It's literally 3 minutes, and it gives me such a beautiful feeling state. The number 2 is a screensaver. Pick a specific goal or target that you want to achieve and put it on your phone. Put it on your laptop or your tablet. And each time you turn it on, you're going to see that. Oh, mine's hidden behind all these messages over there. It's difficult to see, but I've got hidden under there. I know where it is. That is the cover of my upcoming book that I'm slowly getting through, that one of the goals and dreams for this year, that I created the front page of it. So every time I turn my phone on or I pick up my phone, I'm reminded of that. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. On my laptop, my screensaver on here isn't just an art picture, it's for a dream house. So what have you got on your screensaver? Because how often during a day do you pick up your phone? Do you look at your laptop? So it's going to constantly keep it front of mind all the time. The next thing is a BHAG. Who knows what a BHAG is? A big, hairy, audacious goal. And this comes from Jim Collins' book, Built to Last. A BHAG is a powerful stimulation of the main, clear, compelling goal that will help you get so many more of them. So, for example, one of my BHAGs is to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. It's the highest freestanding mountain in Africa. And it's a BHAG for me because for me to climb Kilimanjaro, it means that I need to have $5,000, because that's what it'll cost, rounded about, flights and insurance and all that. I need to be extremely healthy and fit. I need to make sure that my wife and family are taken care of passively, that I've got all my insurances covered, the house is paid for. I'm not going to go and do something extreme and put them at risk that if something did happen to me. So I've got responsibilities that need taken care of. Now, to get to $5,000 extra cash flow that I can spend on literally 7 days means that I've got to have all my debts sorted out. I've got to have my finances sorted out. I've got to build my business to a certain level that is consistently bringing in $5,000, $10,000 every single month. So I haven't climbed Mount Kilimanjaro yet, but one day when I do, when it's done, you're going to know that Tim has ticked off a dozen other goals. Underneath that, the representation of it is I'm standing on the top of Kilimanjaro. And there's a song about that as well, isn't it? So that's what a BHAG is, the big, hairy, audacious goal. The one that's going to scare you. You go, whoa, I don't know if I'm ever going to get there. How am I going to get there? Doesn't matter. Just focus on that. And when I know I focus on that feeling state of standing on top of Kilimanjaro, I've done it from a position of fulfillment, success, abundance, as I've achieved so many other things. So which of these three are you going to start with? Put it in the chats, put it in the comments section, whether you're on the community platform or Facebook, LinkedIn, or on YouTube. Which one are you going to focus on? How are you going to focus your mindset? And we're not talking about the RAS, the reticular activating system yet. It's a whole lot more power about why this works. So what are you going to be doing about it? Right? Then, next week, what are we going to be speaking about? We're talking about this process of change, because in the end, the whole program, the whole 7 stages that I spoke about is about, as Joe Dispenza says, quote, no, it isn't. It's John DeMartini. No, it's Joe Dispenza, where he talks about if you want a new version of your personal reality, you need a new personality. Powerful stuff. What are you doing to change that personal reality, the world that you have around you? So next week, we're talking about change or creation. Until then, don't forget, click the link below. Subscribe to my free Pathfinders community. There's breath work, there's personal development, there's lots of live lunch and learns. This is what I share and I give my all. I hold nothing back on here. And then you want to dive deep on some of this, give me a call. I'd love to have a connection. Till then, thank you very much. Absolute pleasure. I love my live lunch and learns. These are my 15-minute weekly sound bites just for you.